The world would not make sense if everybody talks the same, walks the same, dress the same way, and expresses themselves the same way. Some may argue that it's ideal, but the reality of it is that we're all different and we all have different perspectives of life and different ways of expressing ourselves and talking about our opinions. Due to the difference in the way we handle ourselves, some people have a difficult time of handling that. That's why it results in negative attitude like name calling, which is a very bad thing to do. Name calling is a verbal abusive language that we tend to use in some ways jokingly, but some other ways it can be serious and can affect the person's life in a negative way. Name calling starts in a household between parents. Some couples think that saying some names to talk to the other person is a beneficial way of them to express their frustration. And we also see name calling between siblings in the same household. At first, it's a joke, but then it gets to the point where that the name you call, especially a negative name that you call somebody, can really affect their psychology. Also, we see name callings between parents and children. Parents tend to call their children, you're dumb, you're not smart, you're not intelligent, you're stupid. And they call them those type of names thinking that it would just pass them by. But according to McKenna Myers in 2020, in the article that she wrote in 2020, she's saying that name calling between parents and children can create a distance between you and your parents. It can crush your self-esteem and self-image. It can break down the lines of communication, and it can generate very painful memory that you would not know how to handle later on in life. We also see name calling, that children that are affected by name calling in the household take it to school. They think it's a normal way of expressing themselves. They think that calling somebody a negative name is a normal way of them to call that person or express their frustration towards that person. Due to that, it results in things like bullying, which we see affecting millions and millions of Americans at school on a day-to-day basis. We also see that from primary school, if they are not taught the right way of talking to people, they will take that to high school, bringing all kind of hate crimes, if you can call them that way, bringing all kind of communication barriers that people won't take the time to understand each other, appreciate the difference of each other, and respect one another. We see name calling also affecting a lot of people at work. And according to Beth Greenwood on a website called Crons.com, there are 35% of people who are working and they are victim of name calling. It can come from their supervisor or from their co-workers. Also, 15% of workers have witnessed people being name called. And the worst of it is most of them have no power of doing something about it, because it's probably coming from somebody who has a higher power in the hierarchy of the organization than them. Now, another place that we see name calling a lot is on social media. People hide behind their keyboard and start commenting on people's photos or videos and start saying all kind of names to others. That affects people. We see high suicidal rates. We see a lot of people who have lost their self-esteem. Some people dealing with depression. No matter what the person posts, if you don't like it, just zap it. Just go to something else. But do not try to sit there and see how you can turn down the other person, because at the end of the day, it doesn't bring you anything positive. I will end with this. We should respect each other. We should love each other as we are, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings. We should not be using abusive language in a household, in schools, at workplaces, or any other places, because you don't know the person, you don't know where they're from, you don't know what experiences of life they might have had that brought them to behave a certain way, dress a certain way, or express themselves a certain way. So for respect, we should respect everybody's way of communicating, everybody's way of expressing themselves. If you don't understand, simply ask questions. And by asking simple questions, you'll be able to see a better side of the person, and you will be behaving a better way in front of that person. Name calling has negatively impact people worldwide. Uh, we see the suicidal rates go up, and we see many negative, painful memories that it brings back. I have witnessed it. I'm sure you all have witnessed it, and there are thousands of people who can tell you how name calling has affected them in their life. It destroys their self-esteem, and that is the one of the greatest thing that a person can live in, can lose in their lifetime. For that, thank you so much for listening, and that was it for me. Thank you.